Okay, welcome to this video guide for using immersive equipment display, also known as IED. So I'll start off by quickly describing what it does, which is responsible for having things show on your character. So for example, potions once in your inventory will show up on the belt. Some quest items will be added to your character, and also either equipped or favorited weapons will then visually display on your character. You can see I've favorited my sword, shield, and dagger, and they're now on the back and ankle. Likewise, when equipped, it's the same. You can see the scabbard there, and the sword goes back into it. So, how do we edit IED? Well, the key for this is backspace, which will open up a menu. Looks a bit like this. It can be a bit intimidating to start with, but once you know where to look, it's not that difficult to mess with. So, if for any reason you don't have either of these windows, you can go to the View tab, you can toggle Display Manager and Gear Nodes. These are the two main menus we'll be messing with. Some quick tips before we start. If at any point your character gets knocked down or killed and the items that were displayed on your character are suddenly on the floor or floating around, don't worry, you can just go to the Actions button up here and click Reset All, and that will put them back where they're supposed to be. Another quick tip is that when editing any of these tabs, if you're on the Actor tab or the NPC tab, make sure from the drop down your character is selected. Sometimes if you open a menu while looking at another NPC, it will default to them instead. So if you're ever tweaking values and wondering why nothing's changing, make sure it is your character and not a different character. Okay, so the one major thing a lot of people like to change with IED is placement of weapons. Sometimes they want weapons on the hip instead of back, like the sword, for example. So I'll go through that. For this, you'll want to be on the Gear Nodes placement section, so you can see these dots here change between placement, position, and physics. For doing this, we'll want to be on placement. And for the display manager, you'll want to be on equipment slots. So if you see a view that looks like this instead, just go to the view and hit equipment slots. Okay, so as we've said, we're on the placement section, actor section, our character selected. We're then going to, if it's not open already, open up the sword section, and you can see here it's got sword back left and sword back. What we can instead do is switch that to sword, and you can see now that it's gone down around the character's hip. Now if we press to unequip, you can see that it is still on the back when favorited and not equipped. So to change this, we're going to go to the display manager. We're going to go to the one-handed sword and open this, and then on the attachment node, change that from one-handed sword on back to regular one-handed sword. And now we can see that equipped or favorited, it's in the same place. You may want to similarly do this with the dagger. I don't believe for the dagger that you need to change. Yeah, so for the display manager, that can stay in the same place, but what you'll want to do is go to the gear nodes and change it from dagger ankle to dagger, and you can now see that the dagger is on the hip next to the sword. So the next thing you may want to change is the positioning of the weapons, fine-tuning the XYZ values or scaling up and down. A common reason you might want to do this is, apologies, I got meter. For example, if you've had the backpack made invisible, then often the sword will, the shield will still treat it as if there is a backpack there, and it will be pushed out far beyond your character. So for fine-tuning like this, we just want to go to the gear node section, but instead of placement, we're going to go to positions tab. And for our shield, for an example, we're going to scroll down to shield back. If it's closed, then just open it by clicking on it. And from here, you can see the position, rotation, and scale values. So for the position, X, Y, Z, if you want to bring it in and out, you can just scroll this in and out like so to bring it further away or closer to your character. If you wanted to, you can then also move it side to side if you want it to hang at a certain angle, and it's value to bring it up and down if you want it, for example, down here. If for any reason you want to change the scale, you can also do so using the scale tab here. Have an absolutely massive shield or a tiny shield. Note this will only apply when it's displayed. If you were to then draw your shield, it's going to go back to a normal size. But I guess if for any reason you have the scaling different, then you can make it match with IED. So yeah. Now, the next thing you might want to change is removing certain quest or misc items from your IED section. So as an example, I've added the quest item with the Glenmoral Witch Head. Rather ugly looking. Maybe you don't want that on your belt. Or maybe you just want to get rid of the potion holders. So for this, we're going to open up IED again. And you'll want this section. And the way you get to this is go to View, and instead of equipment slots, which is a default, you want custom items, which will show this. And then once you're there, go to the global tab, and this will show you all of the misc and quest items. So if we want to get rid of something like health potions, I don't want them anymore, just open this and untick inventory item. And as you can see, that's made it disappear. However, the holder itself may be hard to see, but the little leather strap is still there. For that, we just go to the health potion holder and untick that also, and that's done. And you can do the same for stamina and magicka potions as shown here. Now, for the Glenmoral Witch Head, this can be a bit tricky to find, but for this one, it's inside Quest Left Skull. And as you can see here, there are some sub things. And if we want to get rid of the Glenmoral Witch Head, we just hit the X here, and oh wait, it's gone. Likewise, if you had any kind of skull that's on the right hand side, you'll probably find that within right skull. Any kind of quest item that's on your character should be in one of these sections. You may have to do a bit of hunting, but hopefully that explains it.